December 7th, 1941. Redskins a calm Sunday morning in paradise. The soft wind moved through the palm trees of Oahu. The Pacific waters shimmered gold under a gentle sunrise. Sailors laughed on the decks. Families prepared breakfast. Disdain, for a brief moment, felt perfectly at peace. But just beyond the horizon, hundreds of aircraft were moving silently toward Hawaii, engines rumbling in the sky. Crimson inside each plane, men on a mission that would alter history forever. Within minutes, the sound of paradise would turn into the roar of war, and the day America awoke had begun. It was a Sunday unlike any other. Crimson life at Pearl Harbor was peaceful, almost ordinary. Sailors cleaned the decks of their battleships. Partition officers enjoyed breakfast on the shore, and in nearby homes, children played in the sunshine. The air was warm, quiet, and trusting. Far, far across the Pacific, however, a fleet of Japanese carriers had already launched 6 waves of aircraft. FIA, fighters, bombers, and torpedo planes, each one bearing the red rising sun on its wings. They cut through the clouds in silence, their targets set, their orders clear. Pilgrimage, the heart of America's Pacific strength, was moments away from disaster.
7:48 a.m. The first explosion shattered the morning calm. Out of the clouds came the sound of roaring engines, Japanese bombers diving low, sunlight flashing off their metal wings. A rain of bombs struck the harbor with violent precision. The USS Arizona took a direct hit. One massive explosion tore through its deck, and within seconds, the battleship was engulfed in flames. Men were thrown into the air. Black smoke swallowed the sky. Across the harbor, sirens wailed. Anti-aircraft guns opened fire, but it was too late. The attack had begun, and Pearl Harbor was burning. The fleet in flames torpedoes tore through the sides of battleships. Oklahoma, West Virginia, California, Nevada, each struck, each sinking, one after another. Men jumped into the dark, oil-covered water, trying desperately to pull one another to safety. Hospitals overflowed within minutes. Doctors worked without rest. Nurses tore sheets into bandages, and sailors with burned hands carried the wounded through smoke and fire. The harbor, once peaceful and blue, was now a sea of flames and wreckage. In less than 2 hours, over 2,400 Americans had lost their lives. It was the cost of being unprepared for a war that had already begun. A nation in shock. When news reached the mainland, the nation froze. Families huddled around radios, listening in disbelief. Broadcasters repeated the same words again and again. Pearl Harbor has been attacked. In small towns and big cities, silence filled the streets. People stood still, some crying, some praying, others simply unable to comprehend what had happened. The illusion of peace had been shattered. And in that heartbreak, something powerful was born. A shared sense of purpose, of unity, of resolve. On the morning of December 8, 1941, President Franklin D. Roosevelt stood before Congress. His voice was steady, but heavy with grief and fury. He spoke 12 words that would echo through eternity. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The words stirred the heart of every American. Men lined up at recruitment offices. Factories turned on their lights through the night, and women joined the workforce to build ships, planes, and ammunition. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the United States of America was now at war. The years that followed were long and brutal. The Pacific became a vast battlefield, from the coral islands of Midway to the blood-soaked beaches of Iwo Jima. Every battle carried the memory of Pearl Harbor. Every soldier who fought did so for those who never made it home. American resolve turned the tide of war. Through loss and victory, through courage and sacrifice, the nation stood tall. And when the war finally ended in 1945, it was not just a victory, it was a promise that such a tragedy would never be forgotten. Today, the waters of Pearl Harbor are calm again. Tourists visit the memorial, staring through clear blue waters at the ghostly remains of the USS Arizona. Oil still leaks slowly from its hull, a dark tear that rises from the deep, as if the ship itself still weeps for that morning. More than 1,000 sailors rest beneath those waters, forever guarding the harbor they once protected. Pearl Harbor is no longer just a place. It is a symbol of sacrifice, of courage, and of the price of peace. Awoke, the attack on Pearl Harbor was more than a tragedy. It was a turning point in history. It showed the world that even in devastation, a nation's strength could rise. Fueled not by hate, but by the will to endure. The day America was attacked was the day America awoke.
The day America was
and the
attacked
world has
was
never
the
been
day
the same
America
since.
awoke.